Hey everybody, welcome to the RR Live Wellness Unfiltered podcast. My name is Robert Reams, the host and the producer of the show, and as always, I'm here to inform and inspire you, to educate you, and to motivate you so that you can take this information, put it to work in your lives, share it with your loved ones and your families. I've come a long way to have this opportunity to sit in front of you today. Let's go. Hey everybody, welcome to the RR Live Wellness Unfiltered podcast. My name is Robert Reams, the host and the producer of the show, and as always, I'm here to inform and inspire you and to motivate you and educate you so you can take this information, put it to work in your lives, and share it with your loved ones and your families. Now, I'm really excited about this show today. I'm always excited about the show. But today I got a really good buddy of mine coming in. His name is Aaron Hines. Aaron, welcome to the show.
Man, Robert, thanks for having me today, man. Pumped.
Yeah, right? Thanks for coming down, man. Aaron is the owner and the creator of Premier Performance Training in Brentwood, Tennessee. And he and I connected basically on Instagram.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to know each other on Instagram. And, you know, I looked at Aaron's stuff on Instagram and I was like, you know, this dude's got it going on. I like what he's doing, and you've heard me talk about the industry before on this show a lot, and I don't like what everybody out there is doing in fitness. As a matter of fact, I don't like what most people are doing out there because, again, it's keeping that 80% of America that we need to bring into the game. It's keeping them out. It's intimidating them. It's steering them in the wrong direction. It's left them all behind. And what I do and what Aaron is doing with Premier Performance Training in Brentwood is bringing people into the game. And that's what we need to do if we want things to change in this country. So again, I want to thank you for coming on. And there's something that I want to talk about today. First of all, you do a great job with whatever you're doing for promo out there.
Yeah, appreciate it.
It is. If you what is your Instagram so everybody knows they can maybe go to it right now?
Yeah, it's at Premier Performance TN for Tennessee.
Okay. And what you're doing out there, a lot of that is that your creation, some of that, or do you get a team that does that? Or
I have a team. They're called the Hit Lab, and I will say it's Nashville. It's kind of on the border of Nashville and Nolensville.
Okay.
But this guy's name is Nick Hyder at the Hit Lab, and we've been doing this for, I think I'm on year 2.
Okay.
And when I first started it, man, it took me an hour to cut one video. Just for the sake of like having the camera in front of you and being really nervous, and all it was just a screen.
Right.
And doing it for so long and getting really good at it. I can rip off probably 30 to 40 video content creations in an hour now. That's
great, man. Well, you post a lot. I mean, I go on my phone. There's Aaron.
Like his shirt, repost it.
Yeah, there you go. Right? It's great, though. No, I love what you're doing, and that's why I wanted to have you in today. So thanks again. I knew that the show that I want to do today is something that I've been talking about for a long time. But before I get to that, I want to ask you one thing. I'm going to ask you one question about your promo. Dude, the Christmas ornaments from the beard. Can you give me the thought process behind that?
Man, it's one of the. So the funny thing, now that you see me, I don't have as much beard, but
right, because your beard was bigger
it's really thin right now. But everybody's like, "Hey, have you seen those beard ornaments? Can you buy some of those and just maybe put some glitter, dye your beard for the Christmas spirit holiday?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not going to do it." So I walked into the studio the other day, and we're like, "We're going to do a Christmas promo, and we're going to see how many beard ornaments." And they're the big ornaments. They're not just the little baby ornaments that you can put in your beard. These are the full size. And I think I got 8 or 12 before they started falling out. And I was like, that's pretty good, because it got pretty heavy. It was probably about a pound and a half of ornaments.
That one really stood out to me, man. I don't know why.
It was kind of goofy, but I mean, I got some likes and shares and people commenting on it, because I mean, every time the holidays come around, they're like, "That's really good beard, and you could put some lights, and maybe eventually as you get older, you get more gray, you can be Santa Claus."
There you go. You can do that. But you know what? That's the thing that I think that's probably what brings a lot of people into your studio is your personality, and it kind of cuts the edge, and that kind of thing. I mean, so, because people sometimes here's what's happening. Our industry has intimidated many people. Mm-hmm. You go in there and you're gonna sweat, and you're gonna do it, and you're gonna get screamed at. People don't pay for that shit.
No,
people don't pay for it. People want to go in on their terms. We as an industry, in as far as I'm concerned, and I've been doing this a long time, we have to meet people on their level, where they are right now in terms of their self-care, their health, their well-being, their physical and mental health, because folks are defeated out there.
Yep.
They've been given information, and even if they've put it to work, it didn't work. Maybe it was false information, or it wasn't good information for that individual. They've been intimidated. They don't want to be yelled at. The Biggest Loser bullshit is done. That was never a thing, and that's, I've done a whole show on that, and I still see that. I see that like mentality. You're going to come in and you're going to do this. You're going to do that. It's like, the people that can actually afford your services don't want to be treated like that.
Yeah.
They want to be treated as humans. You got to bring them in, and they want to learn something from you. So I think to cut the edge like that is really good. The other thing that I want to talk about today, the main theme of this is what we talked about before: body image versus self-image and self-esteem. To me, that's the foundation for everybody. And this started for me, I can tell you, it was 2009, and I'm in the house.
Just graduating college then.
Okay, so I'm a little bit older than you, Aaron. I'm probably old enough to be your dad, but that's okay.
We won't go there.
We won't go there today. It's there, but we won't go there. But anyway, you look good for your age, though. But anyway, Dr. Phil, I trained Dr. Phil for years. I've been the head trainer and nutritionist down on Dr. Phil for 22 seasons. Still going strong, still involved with the show. And I also trained Dr. Phil and Robin when I was in LA from 2002 until I left in 2020. So that's 18 years. So when you are as you well know, when you're in a 15 by 20 space with somebody 2 to 3 times a week, you get to know each other real well. And Dr. Phil knows me very well. And there was one day that I came into the gym and he was warming up and we were, just doing our thing, getting going. And he just looks at me. And he says, Robert, I want you to write a blog for my blog. And he said, I want you to title it Body Image versus Self-Image. And that's all he told me. Changed the subject. We went on to the next set of whatever we were doing. And I wrote it. And I put it on, it was at the time on drphil.com, but it was on his specific blog site. And it did really well, and it got some attention. And I did a couple of podcasts and some other things about that, and I actually put it as a chapter in my current book. In my current book, Anti-Diet: The Paradigm Has Shifted. Because I think that what happens is, whether you're a young kid or whether you're an adult, male, female, whoever you are, we get up in the morning, we get out of bed, and maybe we rise up out of bed, or maybe we're like, crap, I got to get out of bed. Yep. And we get up, and we go out at some point, and we look in a mirror and we take a shot. And whether it's subconscious or conscious or in a negative or positive light, we take that shot and it runs our show throughout the day. Mm-hmm. It's that thing you can call it what you want, inner voice, inner dialogue. It's like, what are you telling yourself every day? What is that conversation that's going on consciously? Or most of it's subconscious, because that really runs your show. What is that voice telling you? And that runs your show. That directs you throughout your day. And so I thought it was really important, because some of the stuff I've watched with you, I see what you do with kids. And look, you're going to get your gifted athletes, right? Mm-hmm, yeah. You've got those, right? Yep. I mean, I see some things that you've got some really good testimonials on some kids that have really done some stuff at the collegiate level. And then you've got kids that are just out there, they just want to be the best they can, and they want to have a good, safe place to train. How do you navigate that with a kid? Say, for example, you come in, and there's a young man or a young woman that's in there that maybe is not so confident, but they're in your studio. Maybe they want to be there, or maybe they don't want to be there. Maybe their parents just put them there because, wow, go train with Aaron. Maybe that'll help. Yep. What do you do with that kid from the start? The kid that maybe doesn't have confidence. How do you navigate that? How do you work that?
It's like kind of building that relationship with that person or that kid. It's super intimidating going into my facility anyway, because it's new. No
Yeah.
one really knows what to expect. A lot of times they're not talking. They're kind of like shuffling behind their parents' back.
Yes.
Don't want to shake my hand, whatever it may be, but just trying to get to know them on a personal level. Like,
Right.
what's their name? Where do they go to school?
Yeah.
What do they like to do? And kind of what are their hobbies? Some of those things are kind of the icebreakers to say, once they build that trust with me, it's a lot easier to kind of break that wall down of like,
Yeah.
all right, what are you here for?
Right.
What do you want to accomplish? Are you here because you want to be, or are you here because your parents want you to be? And sometimes
That's interesting.
sometimes you may not get the exact answer right off the bat.
So you actually ask them that sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of direct because you're really trying to, and I'm going to say break those walls down, but get to the root cause of like what they want to achieve.
I love that.
And why they want to be there. And you're not always going to get that on the first session. It may take a month, may take 2 months, it may take longer than that.
Right.
But from working with so many kids for 15 years, we've
Mm-hmm.
had kids who are non-athletes who have completely turned their probably emotional well-being kind of on its head, where they're maybe not the how do I say it, most liked in school. We've got that going on where kids are still getting picked on. They're all this stuff, but they're in there because one, their confidence level is going to go through the roof once they start getting some kind of muscle. Muscle.
Feel good physically.
I had a kid once, and this is the craziest thing. I was walking away, and this kid was finishing up a set, and I turned around, and I see him roll his sleeve up and do that right there.
Love that.
And I was like, dude, he's made it.
And he would have never done that when he first met you.
He would never have done that. And he came in with a group of kids who were super athletic, were probably maybe at the same school, didn't hang out with him, and knew him maybe as the kid who wasn't athletic, or maybe he was only in arts or whatever else. But this kid, from that standpoint, from what he achieved there, was like, I've already won and he's already won.
That's so great, man. That's so great because you know what, that kid that you're talking about right there, whoever he is, and when I say that kid, I'm taking, because there's so many kids like that.
Yeah.
They come in and they've had adversity. They know what it's like. They know what it's not to be liked or not to be popular or feel, again, I talk about body image versus self-image. It's self-esteem.
Yeah.
And maybe they have issues with that. And they come to see you, and whatever kind of process that you take them through, you give that kid the opportunity to evolve into that, what you're talking about. And that's huge because that dude is going to be way ahead of the game, because I see, I'm around some teenagers in Brentwood, and I see a lot of the macho bravado that's fake.
Yeah.
I see that like in the mirror and doing all that stuff. And it's flexing and stuff. There's nothing inside.
That's all the, I call it the social media.
Yeah.
Social media, disadvantage maybe for those. It's what we've kind of come across as worldly, as like, if you're going to be in shape, you got to look like this.
Yeah.
Or you got to look a certain way or feel a certain way.
Right.
In reality, I think that's a temporary fix, or it's just kind of a show.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I see. It's literally, I'm not going to mention any names or where I go, but it's like when I hear the weights slamming on the floor.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, if you can't lift it, if you can't drop it down properly, you shouldn't be lifting it.
Same way. If you can't put it back to where you got it, you shouldn't be lifting it in the first place, right?
Exactly. So look, that's not new. I mean, I grew up in the 70s. We were doing that. There was kids like that in the 70s. How much can you lift? I mean, we used to, I talk about this all the time. We used to do chest and arms. Because that's what you see in the mirror. Right? We never
how much
worked
do you
back.
bench? That's what I get all the time. I was like, Coach, how much do you bench?
Yeah.
I'm like, you want to know the real answer, or what I used to 20 years ago?
Right.
Because 20 years ago, I was in the best shape ever. But from lifting heavy weights and not properly over the years and playing college and all that, I've had my share of injuries, and now it's maybe the bar plus a 45 on each side.
There you go. And that's
what's the real answer?
And you look damn good. You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. You know what you're doing. But I got to, I want to share this too before I forget that, again, the kind of thing that you're doing with kids. And let me ask you first before I say this, what is your age range? What is your limit? What's the youngest kid that you can bring on? Yeah.
So the youngest we take, so it's one of my son's 9. So that was kind of put you at third grade. Third grade, we do a third grade through 7th grade. We call it kind of a group. 8 kids we're working together, and those can be non-athletes or athletes. We have some homeschool kids who are in those groups, or just kids who are only in rec sports. That's kind of the minimum age, because too young, like my youngest is 7. I mean, dude, get out there and throw the ball and chase them around the yard. That's what they really need.
Go jump and run.
Yeah, jump, run, and skip.
Yeah.
Kids can't skip anymore, and they can't do jump rope. So those are probably the two things I would encourage. But 3rd through 7th grade, and then we do 8th grade through 12th. We've had high college level, semi-pro, former pro athlete. So there's really no, I don't say anything younger than that. 7 years old, I'm not going to touch. I'm just going to be straight up. I can help them, but it's not worth you paying what I charge for them to come in and be a babysitter.
Right.
For that, so
right, and you get into the 50 and above, which we're going to get into later too. So I want to talk about because they have some of the same issues.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but what I want to get at is that, like, when I was a kid, my coaches, there was a time, and I've talked about it on this show. Everybody knows that I went through a very, very bad skid of obesity as a kid. Self-esteem, body image, self-image, and I know that's why Phil asked me to do that. He knows my background, he knows me well, and he knows that I had a lot to bring to the table for that whole topic of body image, self-esteem, because I dealt with it and I still deal with it. That fat kid's never left my shoulder. He's always there.
Yeah.
He's always there, but it motivates me. It keeps my standard high for self, and it also. I know where people are coming from.
Yeah.
I've counseled thousands of pounds, thousands of inches have been lost under my guidance. One of the reasons is I logistically know what I'm doing, but the other reason is I've been there.
Yeah, and I think that's huge too, because I did a video the other day of how can I help you lose weight? Well, let me tell you. At my heaviest, I was 200, almost 65 pounds post college career.
Wow.
Eating, I think I was eating Chinese buffet for $3 with a water 5 days a week, and Mexican food. And
what was the thing you mentioned before, the weenies?
I don't look this good by just eating beanie weenies. But anyway. From that point, it was one thing, kind of the same self-image. It's like, I am going on a track of exercise science at the time. I was, I've done playing college sports 2 years, and I was like, I'm not going pro, so I might as well do something else. Yeah. Still working out, not eating right. And then what do you know? I go from like 230 pounds to 265 pounds.
Wow.
Like within,
happens like that, right?
Just like that, quick, but it's the same type thing of like, all right, if I'm going to be the one helping people live better, healthier lifestyles, and one day at the time I was like, I'm going to own my own gym, I'm going to help all these people. I can't be in the same situation. I've been there, done that, but it's a little bit more relatable. So when clients come to you and say, hey, I need to do X, Y, and Z, you're like, boom, I got a plan for you. I know what to do.
Right.
And it's one of those things that's a little bit less intimidating, as opposed to me being, I would always want to be pretty ripped, but I'm just not that guy. So being ripped and kind of the macho guy, like, that's not going to fit my style of coaching, but also my clientele would probably go, yep, not for me. See ya. Out and down, we'll go down the street if you want to for that. But that's another thing with it, body image. I had an issue with that too, but it's also like, all right, look in the mirror, like you said earlier, look in the mirror and figure out, am I going to stay like this, or am I going to make a change?
Right.
And I had to make a change.
And the thing is too, is exactly what you're talking about. Body image, self-esteem. There's also the image of what we put out as an industry. Yeah. I mean, look, against the posers and the whole thing, it's sort of like that's a tired thing that's never really worked. I can remember back in the 90s and even the 80s when I first started. I've been personal training. I think I started I took my first client in 1986 as a personal trainer, when personal training wasn't even really a thing. But there would be people at the gym like, I want to train with that person because of the way they look. So it's always been an image thing out there. And our image that we put out there is very, very important. And it's not just about fitness image and like the way you look, but your image is also who you are. Yeah. And who you are is a guy, from what I gather, that, look, you've played sports, you've done that, you know what it's like to train, you know what it's like to basically go off track and be in a place where you don't want to be. And then you're like, wait a minute, just like you did, you snapped in the mirror and said one day, okay, what do I want to put out there? What do I want to bring into my sphere for my business? And the 265 wasn't going to work for you. Just like you said, it'd be big, hey, great, Aaron, you're a nice guy, and you may know what you're doing, but dude, I'm just not motivated when I look at you. But now I'm motivated when I look at you. And I was always, my body image, self-image stuff was so deeply rooted that for years, and I did this for two reasons. I never posed because even when I was teaching aerobics and I was a rail and I was just shredded and eating like 4 Tupperwares of pasta a day just to keep my weight on, which was the total opposite end of the spectrum of being a heavy kid, I still was like, I'm fat. I mean, I went through all this stuff, but I always maintained an image. I wanted to be like approachable. I wanted to be good at what I did. And then the 90s came along and I saw this because before I took on, I worked with Gold's Gym Corporate for 17 years as a media rep for Gold's Gym. And I was a member of Gold's Gym long before that. Sports Connection in 1989 closed, and somebody opened a Gold's Gym franchise that ended up being the most successful Gold's Gym franchisees ever. And that was just now bought by EOS. That was the 23 gyms were just sold to EOS like a month ago.
Oh, well.
And but we went to Gold's Gym, then I eventually started with Gold's Gym, and you know the image that Gold's Gym puts out.
Yeah.
And so I just that image of Gold's Gym, I didn't have that. I was never going to be that.
Yeah, I wanted that because I worked out at Gold's Gym too. That's how I got started working out with a former bodybuilder who was a dad of a kid that played on my sports team, and that's where we went. And I'm like, I'll never look like these guys.
Yeah.
And it's like,
But you strived for it. You got it in your mind. You thought maybe for a second you could.
Yeah, and then I looked at my parents. It's like, genetically, not possible. I love them, but not possible.
Yeah, but you know what, Aaron? I look at a guy like you, and I thought, well, you know what? I mean, you could do it, but you'd have to dedicate your life to it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, what kind of life would you have? You wouldn't be doing what you're doing now because you'd be so wrapped up in that, and that's not who you wanted to be.
Less of an impact, in my view.
Yeah, and not the image you wanted to put out there. But
Yeah.
what I was going to say, and I'm sure you can relate to this, and your clients can relate to this too, because you know what you're doing. Logistically, you're educated.
Yep.
You're certified. You've got educated. You're degreed. And that 90s thing where like, oh, I want to train with that person because of the way they look. That was rampant, not just at Gold's, but everywhere.
YMCA's, it was like that when I worked at the YMCA back in 2008 or 9. It's like, oh, give me a workout plan.
Yeah, exactly. What do you do? What do you do?
Yeah. Tell me what you do, and I'm going to do that. And I'm like, well, it's a little different, but sure, why not?
And I can tell you from verbatim, because I heard with one of these guys, the guys who used to work with like the Arnold group in the 70s. It's like wasn't about what they were doing; it was what they were taking.
Yeah,
I mean, let's call a spade a spade. You know what I'm saying?
What do you have in your gym bag?
Yeah, exactly. What's in there? Oh,
please tell me or show me.
Maybe you want to hide that.
Yeah, give it to me now.
Yeah, exactly. But I got to a point because I was already in it. I started in the fitness and wellness business in August of 1983. It took me until, I'm going to say the mid 90s, maybe early to mid 90s to get a real grip on, because I had the body image, self-esteem issues from being a fat kid. And then I'm like, well, I'm not that person that somebody's going to walk in the gym and go, I want to look like Robert Reams. I wasn't that guy. So what do I do? And then it just hit me. I need to know my shit.
Yeah.
I need to be the guy that knows his shit. So I became obsessed with studying. And when it came time, when what luck, opportunity beats preparation, when Dr. Phil and Robin moved to town to do that show, Robin comes into this company that I was involved with at the time called Busybody. And I had been in sales, fitness equipment sales, because it helped me get clients. I built a lot of my personal training business through that company. And to delivery guys there from Busybody, Robin comes in and says, I need a trainer. Who do I go to? And they both said me. It's not because of what I looked like, but because I was the guy that had the image or the reputation of knowing his shit.
Yeah.
And I know that's you too, because you're degreed in your study. So it's like, lesson to people that do what we do out there. If we are going to change the world, if we are going to flip the spectrum, if we are going to make the shift, we got to start thinking about what we can do for other people. It's not about what you look like, even though that's important.
Yeah. And I think that's 100% true. It's also not about, and I've learned this the hard way, it's not about your in my opinion, it's not about the program. It's about the results you can provide for somebody based around what you know and what you can do from that. Because I've had all these quote unquote specialty, lose 10 in 4 weeks type stuff, and you give it to people, and it's like, well, I didn't lose the weight you wanted me to because X, Y, and Z, but it's also like maybe that wasn't a good fit either. So just trying to find out what's I don't say the best fit, but knowing it and doing it and providing the best solution for each individual person, I think is kind of a winner in itself there too.
Right. Absolutely. Because that's why they call it personal training.
Yeah.
It's personal.
It's not I'll call it the one size fits all.
That doesn't fly.
Yeah, and that's not what we do. That's not what I do. And you may think like, this is crazy. Why is there so much work? But every person that comes in our facility is getting an evaluation. I'm going to see what they can and can't do. And based on that, we're going to put them into a small group of 6 adults, and everybody's doing a workout plan for them. So the only time you're probably doing the same thing is if you're maybe sharing the dumbbells for a bench press. But everything on there is different. The warm up, that's so cool. Sets and reps and everything with that too. And that's what makes us different. And that's what's kind of a little bit confusing about what we do too, because people will come in and go, so we're all doing the same thing, right? I'm like, Robert, we're not doing the same thing, man.
Right.
There's you got some limitations. I got some limitations. We're going to find and set you up for the best case scenario.
Yes.
So you can do things you didn't think were possible because you haven't been able to do them in the last 10 years.
Right.
And we're going to win together because it's all about living a healthy, pain-free lifestyle at my gym.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things that I wanted to ask you, and which is about like, because that's a real art to take a group fitness situation and gear it to the individual. I mean, that's tough to do.
Yeah.
But you're doing it.
Yeah. And it takes a lot of...
take that, everybody out there in our industry and everybody out there that's looking for a place, that's what you if you can find that, and it is out there. Another reason I wanted to have you on is because listen, we're going to talk about Brentwood and the local and Franklin, all the, hear what we're talking about. A lot of people will listen to this and come to you and come to me and whatever. That's great. But we represent, this is a microcosm of what needs to happen change-wise across the country.
Yeah, 100%.
There are people like you in, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, or
they've got to be.
Santa Clarita, California. I mean, they're everywhere.
Yeah,
so take your concept and what you're talking about and put it to work.
Yeah, and it's got to work. But I've had family members of clients come into town and come just try out a session. They're like, I can't find anything like this where we're from. And I'm like, well, move to Tennessee.
There you go.
Move on down, or we can do some online training or something.
Yeah, there you go.
For that, because they've searched and found. Because what I do specifically from more of the 50 and older population is most, not all, but most people who I see and want to work out don't want to be beaten up. They don't want to be yelled at. They don't want to be screamed at.
Yeah,
they don't want to be burpees, box jumps, and run laps around the building. And that's like the large group training model 15 years ago. And some people still run it pretty successfully like that. That's just not what we do. So it's individualized and it's personalized for them each and every time they come in.
Well, I train, I started in the aerobics days. I mean, you're talking, leg warmers and dolphin shorts.
Yeah.
And I was there.
Jane Fonda?
Yeah, that was it. I got a buddy that did Jane Fonda videos.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, I mean, he's a really good buddy, Dan Isaacson's. But but I was in that era. I mean, I wish, I do have pictures of when I was on the, you're too young to probably remember this, but there's a movie called Perfect. Have you ever seen a movie?
No.
John Travolta and Jamie Lee Curtis.
Okay.
And it was about an aerobics studio. It was based around the Sports Connection where I worked in the 80s. And I got hired at the Sports Connection as a group instructor, and I was on an aerobics dance team to promote that movie.
Nice.
Yeah. So when you see those on the red tights and the white tank top you've seen, that was the one I posted was at a LA Clipper game in 1986.
Oh, wow.
But I don't have any dolphin shorts, but I wish I did.
Yeah,
I'd be posting those all over the place. Yeah, I don't know. Somewhere along the line, I got rid of them. But anyway, but the challenge was, I remember, because I had a lot of people taking my classes. And just like you're talking about here, I would get to know the people. There's a camaraderie with group fitness. That's another thing that's really, really good about it, is that, sometimes some people just want to be with you. But some people want to be in that group because there is that community and there's motivation. And it's like once they can get over kind of the body image, self-image, self-esteem stuff, it's like it feels good to be in there. There's like-minded people, the energy. And they get the energy from that and they take it out into their lives. But I would watch people, and some people would be up there just going gangbusters trying to compete with me. And there'd be other people back there just modifying it. And I got another guy that I trained at a corporate wellness program that I did here in downtown Nashville with a huge company. And a couple of the guys take some of these group fitness classes in Nashville. And this guy does the same thing. He's very fit, but he knows what he can do and what he wants to do. And he's able to modify that.
Yeah.
And he's gotten a lot of guidance from me, but he's also got some guidance from the people, because they realize a really good group wellness instructor is going to know, like, wow, like you said, the cookie cutter thing is not going to work.
Yeah.
So that's a really great thing that you do. Now I want to ask you 2 more questions, definitely about the body image, self-esteem, the body image, self-image stuff. Just real quick, the opposite end of the spectrum, you've got the athlete that comes in and is just cocky. They've had just everything, all the smoke blown up there, you know where, and they're coming into you, and you got to cool the jets. How do you do that?
Man, I just blatantly it's 5-star status.
Yeah.
Where they've gotten all the offers. Some are like that, not all that I've worked with like that, and some of them have just gotten, I'll say, to a point where they've been more successful just by being in our program.
Sure.
I wouldn't say that I've been handed a bunch of cocky athletes over the years, but sometimes it's like, you know, let's realize where you started, and let's realize what you've done to get to this point.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be top dog when you get to college, or, you know, guy or girl, doesn't matter. You're coming into it on equal playing field.
Yeah.
You're there. No matter how many stars you got in college, no matter how many pats on the back, how many awards you got, I say it's equal playing field. You're a freshman just like all the others.
Yeah.
And it's going to be, you know, it may be tough at first.
Right.
You're going to have to overcome some adversity, because when you go from freshman to senior in high school, you are the man or the woman, whoever it is, at the top, and everybody looks up to you with that. But when you go to college, they don't care.
Yeah.
They really don't.
Yeah. No, they don't.
So,
and they're out to get you.
Yeah, they're out
they
to
don't
get
want you to take their spot.
They want you to see what you're made of, and you know, they'll make you quit within the first 30, 60, 90 days as far as camp goes. So coming into that, you know, you got to really I won't say a slice of humble pie for them to, like, hey man, let's just think back of like all the people who have helped you along the way, and let's be grateful for those who are in your corner, for that to help you get to this point. And you know, maybe they'll still continue on that path, because sometimes it's, you get to that point and it's like everybody kind of alienates you.
Yeah, yeah.
You're too big for that.
Yeah.
And I've had that a little bit with some. I say I felt that way, kind of more of I helped, you know, mentored along the way, but it's not that they've forgotten about you. It's just that they've gone on to kind of that next step. But the most gratifying part of that is when they call or text or even show up at the gym and say, hey man, I'm going to stop by and see you.
That's so great, man.
I'm
That's
like,
so great.
what do you want to see me for?
But you know,
For all the years,
you know, at the end of the big message there is you got to do the work.
Yeah.
You got to do the work. Each level you go to, it's another level.
Yeah.
Now the other thing is, and you know, and you get this a lot, because again, with, you know, a lot of times, and I want to get this, I want to dispel this myth too. Like, to be able to train with somebody like you or with somebody like me, it shouldn't be viewed as a luxury. It should be viewed as something that's preventative. It's medicine. It's being proactive about your health. It's health insurance at the end of it, put it quite simply.
Yeah.
But, you know, you've got somebody that comes in and maybe they're really successful at what they do. And they've, you know, again, going back to body image, self-esteem, they're hugely successful, but maybe they don't feel, they're out of shape.
Yeah.
And you're getting them in an environment maybe where they're not so much in charge or not so much comfortable.
Yeah.
And they're going in and like, because they are coming to you at the end of the day for help. And I want to make this very clear out there, everybody out there, people like me and Aaron want to help you. We are not out to intimidate you. We want to shift the spectrum of what's going on health-wise in this country. I mean, you watch my shows, you're going to see that. But I want to, like, just real quick, like, the person comes in that's been hugely successful, but just feels like crap about themselves and is, and quite honestly, in the worst shape that they can be in.
Yeah.
But they need your help. How do you deal with that person?
Yeah. So it's
The adults.
Yeah. So I've got a few, I won't name names, but I've got a really successful, obviously he's in the medical business. He lives in town, but his offices and all of his stuff's in New York City.
Okay.
Great guy. But he knows he needs it more than probably I think he needs it.
Yeah.
Just for the sake of like stress levels and all the stuff that's going on in the healthcare industry and all the things that have happened over the years with CEOs of healthcare companies and things like that.
Sure.
So for him, it's more or less trying to meet him where he is and just let him know, like, I'm here to help in any way possible. You just have to let me know. I don't care if you're in Dubai for 2 weeks. Like, we need to get you something, whether it's a 30-minute workout or 45 minutes or just walking. That way you can stay on track with those things, because you're really successful on the medical side of it.
Right.
But inside here, maybe a little cardiovascular, respiratory fitness it's lagging.
Yeah.
Eating's not on track. You're not really consistent with your workouts. But where can I plug in and fit into your schedule where we can continue on this? Because if not, what's going to happen?
Right.
I mean, high blood pressure,
Sure.
stroke, heart attack, and then, what's your family going to do?
Yeah. Clock's ticking.
Clock's ticking, and it's ticking fast. But if we can kind of figure out what can be the most helpful for those type of individuals and meet them where they are, I think 30 minutes of something is better than nothing.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because it's just a matter of like, I don't have time. I'm in a hotel, I'm eating all these dinners and things like that. I get that. I've never been there. So like, I don't know. I can't say I can relate to it, but going to dinners with all the vendors and all the high, investors and all that stuff. It's a lot of drinking and a lot of eating,
a lot of late night.
A lot of late nights.
Yeah.
So where can we meet them and figure out like, all right, maybe you've had 4 drinks on Monday night. Maybe it's just one. Maybe
And
we
that's
go
the
for
reality of it.
Yeah, maybe we go for
hey.
Yeah,
That's what you deal with.
What can we reduce the way you can sleep better, you can feel better, and when you get in town, you can be more consistent as opposed to just sleeping through the alarm or just going, you know what, that workout room is downstairs in the hotel.
Yeah,
I ain't going, not going.
Yeah.
So what can I do as a leader trying to get people healthy to meet them where they are and help them be successful? Because any small step leads to bigger steps, and that's usually when they become more successful.
Good for you, man. That's really cool. I've had people over the years, like big executives. I gear in LA. I remember it. The whole thing was to be like the celebrity trainer. I never wanted that.
Yeah.
Because I trained some celebrities, but it was in my mind, it was like, well, you're kind of at their beck and call when they want you. They're doing a movie or they're doing a show or whatever, and then when they're not, they don't want you. But so I dabble in that part of it, but I geared my business in the 90s. I can remember my first name of my business was called ExecuFit Life. And I went for that executive because it's very important for them. They're in charge of so many other things. They want an hour or some time for somebody to be in charge of them. Robert, what do I do? Classic line. What's next? What's next? You're in the gym. What's next? What's next? Okay, what are we doing now? It's like, let's do it, and they want to be led through that. And I've had just recently one guy that was with me 25 years, and he was with me virtually out here, big executive, big union executive in LA, that wrote me just a really, really nice email on his birthday. And I trained him for 26 years, this gentleman and his wife. And again, I'm not going to mention any names, but just something like something really nice and like that I made impact, because people have trained, usually people that start with me, they either quit right away or they stay with me a long time. It's just the way it's been. And I had another gentleman that was the same thing, a studio executive, big time. I'm not going to mention his name again, but he continually has written like 3 emails in the last year of some we've kind of gotten in touch. And he said he was so grateful about how the road that I got him on. And both of these guys are in their 80s.
Oh, wow.
And that's, to me, that's really rewarding.
Yeah.
But they're, like you said, that person that, they still have to go, they have to travel a lot. They go out, they do the dinners. There's a way to work that. And that's why corporate wellness is so important right now. It was something I call executive optimization. You got to take care of your folks at the top because they are living that lifestyle. And I'm doing that right now. I've been doing that for a long time. But I geared my business in LA to that because it's like, these people, they want the help. They know they need it. They're not necessarily going to do it on their own. And they got the funds to be consistent with it. So I geared my business to that, and it's always worked for me. So, but everybody, even adults and even the guys, even men and women that have just been praised that are put up on these pedestals, they're still human. And they still got those issues that we're talking about, body image, self-esteem, and how that mixes together in their life and their perspective. And so that's something I've always, I'm grateful to Dr. Phil for so many things, because I wouldn't be sitting here with y'all. But he put that plant or that seed into my garden, and it's blown up like it is, and it's helped me so much understand people. Because as you well know, Aaron, you got to understand the individual. You're training the individual. This, I told Terry, the head of Nashville Fit magazine, when I first started doing the podcast here, I said, dude, I just don't do sets and reps. We're going to talk about the nitty gritty of all this stuff. If you look at the 20 episode, I think this would be the 20th episode I've done actually here at Spread the Positive, and I've done other podcasts too. But I want to get down to the nitty gritty. I want to invite people in and let people know that this is more than just like how you look.
Yeah.
It's more than just Instagram posts of how you look or what you do or selling you a supplement.
Yeah.
It's so much more than that. And I want to, we could talk for hours. Yeah. We'll probably do this again. But just kind of repeat where they can find you, where everybody can find you. And you've got some books. Yeah.
So you can find me at online, premierperformancetrainer.com. Instagram is at premierperformancetn. We've got a Facebook page. I'm on there. I've got more of a beard than I do now. There's 5 books.
Because the Christmas ornaments.
Christmas ornaments yanked it right off. I've got 5 books. I've got on Amazon. I've got 3 that I've written. 2 are co-written from other fit pros. A couple are bestsellers. One's nationally bestseller from some friends of mine we put together. So kind of a joint venture on that. So 4 of the 5. The 2 are more of the sports performance. One's on mindset. One's on kind of my story and 10 lessons of kids and athletes that I trained. And in that first book, everything's kind of in memory of a kid that used to work with us who tragically passed away in a car accident. His story's in there as well. But the other one, the one I just wrote, was last year. It's Active and Ageless, which is about the most simple things you can do for people 45 and over. It's basic. It's like, you're like, holy cow, I can do this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 30, 45 minutes of walking, body weight stuff, bands.
Yeah.
And then maybe some workout programs in there too.
There you go. And while we're doing that, I'm gonna, I put out some books before too, and this is Anti-Diet. The Paradigm Has Shifted. This is on Amazon right now, and this is a lot of great stuff. This is kind of 40 years of my life work on this one. So get this, it's on Amazon, and I've got a Beacons account on my Instagram and my Facebook that's got all my stuff on there, all my links. So get this book. I promise you that it will enhance your life. Body, mind, spirit, working from the inside out, like I always talk about. So the last thing I want to close with, Aaron, is got people out there that have lost hope. We got a country right now that's in really bad shape healthcare wise. And the show that is going to air before this one airs is going to highlight that. I went off the frickin' rails on this show.
You're fired up, right?
I was fired up, and I still am. And I told you the studio would be really hot when you walked in.
Yeah, my glasses are foggy.
I know. I saw you walk in. I'm like, wait, no, Aaron, I'm here. Let me wipe those off. Here, I got a napkin for you. But it's something that needed to be said. These are things that needed to be said.
Yeah.
And people have lost hope out there. But our country is in health wise is in a predicament. And they've lost hope. What do you say to folks out there that have lost hope? Because that's the majority of people that have lost hope and just don't know where to go and don't know what to do, are defeated, and this is all off their radar. How do you bring them back in, and what do you say to them?
Yeah, I mean, some of that's just back what we talked about before. Meet them where they are and just figure out what do they have access to and what can they do. Because I like to say, you think my gym is expensive and what I charge, but how about those medical bills you're going to start piling up when you've got all these medications you're taking? I said,
yes.
I could reduce that probably by a lot.
Yeah.
If you would just invest. It's an investment.
Yeah.
For that long term. Because if you're copay. I went to the doctor the other day and I was like, I owe how much?
Yeah.
That's exactly what I told the lady. I said, I'm not, I'm not paying it is what I told her. I said, I'll pay half.
Yeah.
But I said, I'm not paying the whole thing because this is just kind of like a gut punch.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Walked in there.
You're walking in there going like, my insurance is going to cover it. Yeah. It doesn't. And that's what the theme of the show was about. Yeah. It's like,
it's crazy.
Everybody's health insurance costs have gone up. We have a nation that is sick. We have 93% of Americans that are metabolically sick.
Yeah. They
are dysfunctional. That's over 9 out of 10 people.
Yeah.
And the health insurance costs are through the roof. Who is going to pay for this? We've run out of resources. It's tapped, and we have to make that shift. And I talk about that 20% metabolic boost. If we could get that across the country, if we could get to where people are more conscious about what they buy, get wired off convenience and start taking better self-care of yourself, we can flip the script.
Yeah.
It's people like you and me that have to put this out there.
Yeah,
and so that's why I wanted to have you on today, and that's why I wanted to get that message out, because you're doing that, and I appreciate you coming on. I told you before, I'm not a big fan of most of the fitness industry out there, but I'm a fan of yours.
So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
A lot of it's a lot of fluff, and I'm kind of a low key, just easygoing dude, and I'm not like a flash and dash. I do a lot of content stuff, but I'm not like a showboater type thing. But from what we've done and what we've built, I mean, I think in my perspective, we are the best spot in Brentwood, Tennessee.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, maybe between Urban Market and Costco.
Yeah.
On the south side of town, I have no idea what goes on. But I mean, we can help a lot of people, and we've helped a lot of debilitated people kind of regain a little bit more life and longevity because of where they were and where they really didn't see themselves going. But from a little bit of help and a little bit of encouragement and just that boost of confidence is the biggest thing.
Yeah,
I mean, we can instill a little bit more confidence in people who have none. I mean, you can see the light, you know, their eyes light up.
Perspectives change.
And things are like, they're actually a little bit more excited to come to the facility, or they're texting you, hey, thank you so much. I went on a walk and I didn't get winded, or I went on this trip and I was actually able to get my luggage and put it in the overhead bin without hurting my back.
And then I was able to walk through the airport.
I've had a lady, she works with me to this day, but we worked on the floor. We were doing like leg raises and glute bridges. And then she was taking a wheelchair for work. She was still working and using a wheelchair in the terminal and back and forth. And she looked at me and goes, I think I'm going to walk. I think I'm going to walk today.
That's awesome.
I said, do it. And if you miss your flight, don't worry about it.
That's what it's all about.
She said, she came back and she said, I did it.
Yeah.
I did it.
Good for you.
And she
good
still
for her.
Yeah, good for her. Miss Janet, she's till this day, and she said she's not going anywhere. She's going to be training me until she passes away. And I said, well, hold the phone there. We got a long time.
That's way down the road.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
Body image, self-esteem. This is what runs our show. Remember, you take that snapshot in the morning when you look in the mirror, and that runs your show. And self-care, body, mind, and spirit, physical and mental, that's going to change all that. This is working from the inside out. This is not just sets and reps. And I want to clarify something too, because a lot of your people, I've been talking about the show business of and I started to go in this before about, like, you know, the flash and the look at me.
Yeah.
In the past 5 years, for personal business marketing, sometimes I've done some flash. Yeah. I'll show the guns. I'll show the abs. But there's a reason for that. Because I'm on the downside of 67. Yeah. And when you're in your 20s and your 30s and your 40s, if that's what you want to be ripped and you want to be the person or whatever that's everybody's going to look at. Yeah. And if that's what you can do that. And you know, when we talked about image before, and the image that you put out is very important. I mean, we want to have an image of fitness and wellness. But I put that out there not because I want to be a fitness model, because I'm not. That ship sailed. But I will put it out there for people, like, this is what can happen. I've lived this ever since I was a little kid. Yeah. So I just want to clarify that, because you're gonna, before I was talking about that, and you're gonna have people that are, premier performance training. Well, Robert's, he says you shouldn't be showing boat out there. What's he doing out there with it's like, what's this?
It's a reflection. But I think it's more or less it shows people what can happen, or what
that's exactly
the reality of what.
And that's why I do it.
Not the this is the way I've been my whole life. Yeah. Some people are just genetic freaks, and they can lift 10-pound dumbbells and be shredded their whole life. That's not me. Right. But it's also, you don't want to have that I would say false hope of what you should be, and what you can be, and what you are. Yeah.
And it's, and again, I put it out there because it's an image thing, but it's like exactly like you said, it's what can happen. Yeah. And that's why I do it. It's like, I mean, if I would have wanted to do that approach all along, I would have done it. Yeah. And I didn't. So body image, self-esteem, working from the inside out. Aaron Hines, premier performance fitness training in Brentwood, Tennessee.
Yes, sir.
Because sometimes I say Brentwood, California. It's like a Freudian slip. But it's Brentwood, Tennessee. Yep. And, I work a lot in the Brentwood, Franklin area as well. So I want to thank you for coming in, man.
We've never crossed paths yet until today. So.
Oh, that's right. Well, I cross his path on Instagram all the time. His Instagram's great. And if I can recommend, again, the video about the ornaments on the beard, it's just really funny. Aaron Hines, everybody. And this is RR Live Wellness Unfiltered. Thanks again for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Stay tuned for the next episode. Spread the Positive Studios here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and Nashville Fit Media Network. Thanks, Terry. God bless everybody out there, and thanks for tuning in. Hey, everybody. Thanks again for tuning in to the RR Live Wellness Unfiltered podcast. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the show. And don't forget the Revive and Sustain Wellness app. Go to www.reviveandsustain.com and download the app. 42 years of my experience at your fingertips. Till next time, everybody, in great health.